I'm actually faced with a dilemma right now. I had somebody who contacted who is actually a super successful person in my company. And, and he's like, yeah, I can teach you, guide you through the whole process, whatever. But he's saying, okay, well, you got two options. One is you can, go through like he's got an automated system that it just basically plug and play for the people. And I'm like, okay, well, that would be a great platform if I can have access to it. So it'll be $30 a month. So I'm like, okay, that I can do because it's an automated system. But he's like, what I won't get access to is there, like the one-on-one coaching, the mentorship, and the, closing the call, blah, 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 right? And he's like, the only way I can get access to that is if I actually, switch over and enroll with him. And I'm like, as much as I feel like I would so love to do that, um, I feel like I'm more committed to the people that because I've got my mom who's building this business with me as well. I've got like, some cousins and relatives that are building this business with me. So for me to walk away from that feels like my whole thing is loyalty. Like I'm a true blue, like loyal, I believe in loyalty. I believe in being integral and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden to not bring loyalty into my business, I'm like, you're ripping the rug out from under me, right? So yeah, I just felt like it was like, it's that dilemma, but it's helped me make that decision that, it's tested me to be like, no, 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 I'd rather pay you for the coaching and all that stuff, but I'm still sticking to but I just felt very, I don't know. Yeah. So go ahead, Donna. I felt
Um,
slight a little bit, but I mean, that's part of the game, I guess.
yeah, but okay, so if you're going to be switching to him, does that mean you're going to be removing yourself from where your position is now to directly under him? Can you not bring your people with you? No, okay, got it, got it. Yes, that would be very difficult.
It's like switching from
Difficult choice.
one real estate company to another, and you can't take clients from there here to there. Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah,
So I'm just like, well,
yeah.
you know.
Well, it'd be different if they followed you to the other place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is a tough choice to make
Well,
because
it was initially. So I'm kind of at a point where it's like, okay, uh, you know, if I get the support, so I'm like, okay, at least I'll give it a try with the system that they've got, because that's paying for it. I'm doing my part where I'm not, taking free rides or what have you. But at the same time, like for the 90 days, I'll give it a shot because that's only $90, and it'll help me to like really power through and be like, okay, and hopefully he's nice enough to be like, okay, sure, get on a call. Okay, one call. So I'm like, please. We'll see. Yeah, so to Sam, answer your question, yeah, it's been like I'm constantly at this every day, like I'm putting myself to work, I'm being effective. Today actually I came through because as I'm like cooking or like making my meals or whatever, I was reading this I will listen to YouTube like programs and stuff, and I was listening to this one audio where the guy was actually talking about how self-help stuff can be detrimental to you. And what he was actually talking about is like, you get pumped, you get excited and rah, 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 and you feel like, okay, you're learning all of these things and progressing and all that stuff. But when you really look at your actual activities, if they're producing any results, you realize that you actually haven't taken the steps that you've been so busy doing all these other things that you haven't actually done the work that you needed to do, right? So that was an eye opener, and I'm like, okay, I definitely don't want to be doing that. And so I actually contacted a person. So yeah, since you asked, I contacted a person who is looking to do calls. They want somebody to do cold calls in Vancouver in the real estate market. So I'm taking, it's only $10 an hour, but but it's working from home, making cold calls. But I'm like, okay, if I can have that help me increase my selling on the phone abilities, I feel like that would be a really helpful tool. So yeah, just busy, taking step-by-step actions, but where all of this is going to get me, only the crystal ball knows. So Donna, I think is having, do you want to go over what was happening for you for the week, Sam?
Yeah, I think I talked about what happened Monday, Tuesday. What happened yesterday actually was it was a full day of photo shoots. We had to bring in some models to take some picture with the product on their face and without the product, and then using Photoshop. Give me a second, please. Hey, yesterday yesterday was a full day of photo shoot. So I don't know if you heard about like the project I'm working on, Donna. Zero.
Put on vacay mode.
In weekend mode. I don't know when's the last time I talked with Donna. Yeah, another company building their brand, building like some of the graphical part, which means like the logo, website. So yesterday was photo shoot of the product, so we can do some press releases, a little bit of social media, but much more of like actual sales and having an image of that. So we finally, in the span of, was it like 3 hours, we got 300 pictures. Today I had to, with one other member of the team, I had to select those pictures and then have one set of picture for a specific use, which was like the packaging. Very important. So I did that today. Used some of the Photoshop skills, and yeah, working. And we're even more time sensitive right now because new products of the same kind like are starting to appear in the market, and we cannot be the last. So now everything is on like boost mode. We got to be ready for next Monday.
So I was cutting in and out of Zoom, but I trust that you were
on their nerves a little bit. They have to go faster than they have to go faster. Just basically they have to go faster. They're a little bit behind schedule. I'm on time, but they're a little bit behind schedule. So we're there.
Very cool.
And actually, I think it was like I'm getting a little bit, drained and tired because of all that intensive work that I'm doing. And I think it was yesterday morning, I got a text from a friend, or just like a family friend, who almost 5 years ago, he hired me to, help him do, construction work. Just go outside and do some construction work, manual work, nothing that had to do with business and I was considering just taking 1 month off and doing only physical work, because doing something different is a bit like the Zen mode of thing.
But you didn't?
Huh?
But you didn't?
I still didn't answer him, but I might just say, hey, pay me a little bit more, more than like the $15 you're asking me. But let's do this. Like I like working with him.
And sometimes change can be good too.
Yeah.
Right, change of scenery, change of pace.
Yeah, it's to give me just mental how do you say, rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Donna, I'm curious to know, what is it that you're gonna do, Missy, to get yourself back into work mode?
Oh, she's gonna cut again.
I know, she ran.
Oh my God, I don't know what's going on with Zoom today. It's just constantly, it's a pain in the ass. I guess I'm coming out of this week-long break, and I've got to get back to it. I've been networking, so that's been good. I've going to be trying to connect a couple of people together that and try and see if I can get them into working relationship and see where that goes. I also met a person who's a venture capitalist. Got to find out more about him because he might be able to spearhead part of their project. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to get myself in there. Yeah, and then just by networking, I've got, while I was in Vernon, I got another referral from somebody. So hopefully that something comes through out of that, but I won't know because, yeah, it's sort of an ongoing thing with regards to a work visa and a study visa and stuff like that. So that is going to be, nurturing it a little bit, waiting. So, but that's working in the business. So working on the business, I got to get back to sitting down and writing stuff. I need to write some articles and not just, repost things, and actually write my own articles and post those now. So I got to sit down and do that, get serious about it. So got some plans happening. I just got to do it.
Anything interesting that you've been listening to recently, or maybe reading recently?
No, I haven't been able to, just because this last week I was on holidays and I actually brought my book, 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I didn't even open it while I was there. Because I had started reading the book, and then I thought, okay, there'd be a great opportunity to sit on the beach and just read or whatever, right? There's too many things to do, and it was just so many people. There was eight of us there.
Nice.
So
too much food.
Yeah. Oh my God. I swear I gained weight. Like I only eat normally 2 meals a day, but there it's like, oh my God, wake up, everybody makes breakfast, and then everybody makes lunch, and then we have a big dinner. And then in between, they're making, smoothies, and they're bringing out snacks. And it's just like, oh my God, I am so full. I don't need to eat for 2 days while I'm at home now. So, yeah, too much to do to but that's the thing. I was on, I took that call from that referral. So I did do a little bit of work while I was there. But I got onto not Edison, well, that conscious partner stuff. I got into one of those calls because I paid for the 4 sessions for July. And I can't remember what the last one was, but I got on that. That one was 5 love languages, and about how to communicate and knowing other people's way of communicating or showing respect and love, and in order to communicate with each other. So that was really cool. I think their stuff that they offer from a conscious partner is really, really good personal development, not just for yourself, but it all carries forward into business relationships even, right? And so
that one was actually, I totally back you up on that, because I know for me personally, I felt like it's helped me better handle my relationships in my family situations, for example, right? And the biggest breakthrough that I got out of that is recognizing that I'm actually an anxious person.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh my God, how many areas in my life do I go creating dramas and all that kind of stuff that I absolutely no need then, right?
Yeah.
And it just has me now all of a sudden be like, okay, if I recognize myself as that person, if I'm doing that right here, right now, it helps me, okay, no, stop. Let's cut that out, and have it be like, how can I use this instead of going down that train of thought? How can I use this to serve me and other people and make the situation better?
Yeah.
And just that little piece of nugget has been such a change of direction for my life and relationships, and creating better bonds for the rest of my life, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So how did you find the sessions that you were on, Sam? You were on a couple of them.
Yeah, I was on the personality one and the attachment style.
Yeah.
fashion style. Yeah. For me, personally, I'm more confused now. More confused because I'm just so much in between everything. I'm like, I'm an ambivert. I am as much feeling as I'm thinking. I am as almost as much perceiving that I am judging. I mean, no, perceiving that and sensing. And there's the other one, the last one was like either judging or
Perceiving, was it?
yeah, I think it's perceiving. So one is sensing or observing it. Well, anyway, so I'm just so much in between everything that I can't. I'm either nothing or I'm everything.
It's okay. You're a chameleon.
Huh?
You're a chameleon with multiple.
A chameleon.
Yeah.
Well, that's which is what is funny is that not long ago I've actually said that I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be a chameleon. I want to be like that type of person that can come into any kind of social place and really be at home or just fit in really well. Because I never fit in. To be honest, fitting in some place has always been very difficult. Not because people don't accept me, but it's because I don't really feel like I'm in the right place most of the time. So yeah.
You know, the beautiful thing about that is because I think everybody kind of needs to go through that in life. And sometimes in our youth, that's a very common thing to go through, because how will you know what it feels like to fit in when you have never gone through what it feels like to not fit in, right? And all of this is, our own internal, because I know I've been there myself, where it's like, I've been like, okay, I don't fit in here, and the people that are in my life, yada yada. But now, as I've gone through life and just through more interactions with people and, becoming comfortable with who I am as a person, all of that kind of stuff. And as I've become more comfortable in my own skin, I feel like that desire to fit in is no longer an essential priority.
I've actually never had the desire to fit in to begin with.
Yeah.
But I've always had the desire of being able to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like being adaptable was one of the things that I know that my mom just, pounded that into my brain. Like, you need to adapt because you're the son of an immigrant. You go to a school where there's only almost like white people that are from Quebec. You speak two languages, blah, blah, blah. And then you decided to go to Chile where I thought I was Chilean in my blood or in my way of being, but actually I'm absolutely not like them as either. I'm more like people from here actually than from people from there. So that's what I'm saying. I always try to adapt because that's what I've been told to. I've been told that I should be, and I think it's a good way actually of living as well. And if you want to thrive someplace, you got to adapt. You got to be able to make quick changes and be fast on your feet and fast always with your way of thinking as well, of taking decisions. But it comes with the price. It comes with the price of, you never really feel like this is the spot you should be in. But now I've been always, like, for the last 6 to 10 years, being studying religiously, like business and marketing and that stuff that I can almost not talk about it ever. Or I can almost not, it is part of my identity. Right? And I've never looked at my identity as something that is like this stuff. Like, I'm not Canadian, I'm not Chilean, I'm not what I am not a lot of things. But I can say, like, I am truly like somebody that thinks like a business.
So you're starting to find your own identity over time. Yeah.
Little bit, which is fun. I'm already 26 and going for 27. And
you're only 26, so you're gonna find more and more pieces of yourself.
You're saying that only 26 is like still super young, but I feel like it's like, okay, now I should be really starting to figure out who I am. Like, that's where I should be in my life. It's
a lifelong process, my friend.
Yeah, it is. Because even at my age, I'm like, more than twice I've lived more than twice what you've lived, son. Son. And it's true. Eleen's right. It is a lifelong thing because I'm still figuring shit out. Like I still haven't, I still don't know what I like.
What kind of shit do you need to figure out? What are the stuff, like, it's obviously a different level of figuring out.
Yeah, I agree.
So what is that level? Like for me, the level of figuring out is, okay, now I have to figure out how to live on my own, how to be completely independent. I got to figure out who is my new external circle, who's not necessarily my family. Like those are the things you figure out when you're my age. But what are the things? What is the next level?
You still have to figure that out even as you get older, because no, it's true. Because okay, when you're trying to figure out your family, there's always, I don't know if you call it issues with family. It's like, how you get along with your family. There's, different family members that you always have, odd or difficult ways of communicating with. And over time you learn or you evolve, they evolve, and, hopefully you evolve in the same direction. And then, you start to be able to communicate, have a better relationship. So even now I'm starting to develop better relationship with my mother, who I never had a good relationship with. And, I had a good relationship when I was really young with my brother. And as we got older, we started to grow away. And over time, I'm, trying to get us to come together closer again. So, even at my age, I still have, to deal with family relationships, with my cousins and things like that. It's always a fluid thing. Like it's never, okay, yay, we're in great terms and that's it. It's done.
No. How I understand figuring stuff out is like you kind of get the motion of things and you know how to come back to the state where you kind of wish things are.
Mm-hmm.
When I say, okay, at some point you figure out that your family is one way and that to be able to interact with them in a positive manner, you have to do some things right and not the things that are negative wrong, but you figure out that, and I'm not saying that thing is going to disappear, but it's always like you got to stay in that motion, in that good place.
I said for you to, have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
Of course.
You have? Okay.
Of course.
I would suggest listening to his stuff. He's got like the 12 rules of life.
Rules for life.
Yeah. So I would.
Depending on who's listening to the recording, you're either gonna get some rocks at you or some praise. He's a very polarizing character, that Jordan Peterson guy. And there's some of the stuff I really like about him when he talks about the things that he knows. But when he goes like on a tangent, sometimes he can really go into things that I do not understand. But he still tries to think about it in a logical manner, which is interesting because I like the way he thinks.
Yeah.
And I like the way he talks as well.
Yeah.
He's a little bit, and he does a little bit what I do, which is, or I do a little bit like he does, where I kind of thinking while he's talking.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, no, have you read that book then?
I haven't read it, but he has so many podcast sessions where he's doing dissertation about his 12 rules for life. I've listened to it many, many times.
Okay. Yeah. But maybe now it's time to listen to the 12 rules. It is on YouTube audio, as you're sleeping, maybe. I'm sure you've got a busy schedule as it is.
Yeah. But I'm not in a hurry to figure out like those 12 rules for life that talk more about like how not to get depressed or how to figure out what you like to do in life or how to get things straight. Like I'm not in the urge for that because I think that those stuff are kind of intuitive to me. Like the things that create conflict in my life, those things I got them really like home. I know what to do. I'm really good with conflict management. Like whenever there's a fight, I'm always there to be able to, repair that stuff. That's one of the great like talents that I have that I've never been like trained to do, but I'm just good at it naturally.
That's part of being the chameleon personality, like adapting, right? And that's the thing, when you were saying that you were very centered between all the different personalities and all the different attraction styles and things like that, I think that makes you more aware of who other people are, so then you don't have as much conflict as some other personalities or other attraction styles that may cause conflict just because of their extreme personalities, and you're like very centered, right?
What you guys don't know about me is that I am actually a slow learner. I am a good learner.
But that's the key. Yeah.
I learn things very well, but it takes me a lot of time. So I can be very attuned to those people, but it will take me so much time to like figure them out.
Yeah, that's still like that's such a good trait to have, because a lot of people don't even make that effort to take that time to learn. So the fact that you at least apply yourself, that's worth its weight in gold.
I just believe that it's so important.
Yeah.
You know what I heard today? I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk and his other like podcast project, which is like Marketing in the Now, where he interviews some of the biggest, like, not personality, actually like business people from other companies like Chase Bank and stuff. And he was talking about like, if I can dilute everything in one sentence, is when you care about something, you track it constantly, And the example he gave for business is, okay, some business think they are one way. For example, in that case, they were talking about like the gender equality or the gender pay gap. Okay, the pay gap between women and men. And one company might think that they're being super equalitarian and no problem. But if they do not track their numbers, they don't actually know. And that particular business did, after just being pushed and constantly pushed by one of their own employees to track those numbers. And they figured out, yeah, there's actually a big gap between people with the same kind of work, and between men and women. And they did it once and then stopped for a whole year. And then they tracked it again because they were pushed again. But the same guy, no, you'd have to track it again. And that the gap came back after a while. So when you care about something, you really need to do it a lot of times, track those things and those numbers. And that's how I view like the people around me. Those are people that are going to stay like for a long time. So by knowing them, it's my way of tracking them and tracking my progression with them and understanding.
Not only the last 2 minutes. Just a quick question, because this is something that I'm finding myself maybe to avoid getting stuck in, if just to change the topic. So I've been getting messages on my Gmail account that it says that I'm running out of space, or what does it say? It says, yeah, you're running low on storage space, try freeing up space or purchase additional storage. And this is my Gmail account. Do you guys know like how to do that? Because is that just from my Google Drive, or is that because I've got over 7,000 emails as well? Or is that part of that as well being the problem?
You got to clean that email up.
So it's cleaning the email. What are some of the other effective solutions that other people may have used, do you think?
Use another email.
Yeah, use another email, or you're going to end up having to pay for extra storage from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just basically creating another email account and transitioning to that, eh?
Yeah. Or like Sam was saying, it's like you got to go through your emails, delete the stuff that you don't need. If there's stuff that has attachments, because attachments are going to be what's bogging a lot of that storage space, right? Download the attachments. If they're videos or pictures or whatever, download them and store them somewhere else, and then just delete that email.
I do that several times a year, where I go through my emails and just, massively take everything and throw it in the garbage. And even what's in the recycle bin, also delete it.
Yeah.
I've never done that, so I'm going to start doing
You've never done that.
Oh my God, no wonder. Yes, you have to. I do.
I know, something I needed to
weekly.
do. So. I thought it's going to be forever. It just keeps loading it up. Hey, the things we learn, right?
Go to the last page and delete one page after the other, and
that's what I started doing. Yeah.
see if there's one thing that you want to keep really and put it in a different folder.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you've got stuff that's a few years old, and you've never looked at them, get rid of them. Get rid of it, because you can find the stuff on Google.
I've realized it's actually helping me follow up with some old lost relationships. So, bye,
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My countdown was almost perfect, but not this time.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
I'm getting there. No, I have like an internal clock trying to.
Yeah.
1 minute is very fast sometimes, and other times it's